But what I wanted to touch on before is that you're talking about how people may have like this just like vanity lifestyle. But there's a big thing in LA that I can't remember what it's called. Basically, it's called the Duck City. What that means is you see a bunch of ducks on the water, and you don't like you think, oh, they're just chilling, doing nothing. But underneath the surface, these ducks' legs are going crazy, trying to like swim and keep afloat. They're going really crazy. So to put that in real life perspective, I mean, that's maybe these people look rich and look great on the like on a face value, but they might have heaps of debt. But the confusing thing is, in terms of business management, your brand, your personality, who you are, who you present yourself to the public is part of your business. So
Yeah,
it's really weird to think about that. You shouldn't have debt in your personal life, but when your personal life becomes your business, and most businesses must run off debt, it gets very
yeah.
scary and very weird.
No, I agree. It is because especially when you think about LA, if you rewind, I guess, time back about 6 months ago to a year ago, everyone would say LA is a place to grow in terms of you've got the best time zone in terms of capitalizing on viewers. A lot of people would have wanted to move to LA to become a content creator, to make it big, essentially. But the lifestyle is expensive. The cost of living in LA is expensive. And so I've noticed a few people move to LA to try to like chase that dream. And some of them have made it. But what you don't see behind the scenes, what they did to get there, the amount of time and effort, blood, sweat, and tears to get to where they were. And then a lot of people realize, well, maybe that's not my life. Maybe I can move outside of LA and still make it big. But um, I think in my mind, you don't have to be in LA to make it big,
Mm,
especially especially in the states. The population is huge.
yeah,
If people recognize the basics of just trying to become an entertainer, like I guess for me, it's will people watch you if you're just sitting there playing, or if you interact with them, take them on the journey, will you then garner more followers and things like that? And I think people got it twisted. Like having, especially when I think about having 20 viewers is like having 20 people watching the games. It's a lot, and people compare that number to like your creators, your loser fruits, your fresh, like oh they've got like X thousand followers watching them at the moment, and so they feel dejected. But in my mind, look, I'd be happy if I had one person watching me, because that's one person I can interact with. For me, it's taking that one person on the journey. They become then a following. They become loyal to you. That one person then will then become that brand representative
an
for you.
ambassador. Yeah,
Correct. So then if another person comes on the stream, they will chat to that person, make them feel welcome. Because I think that at the end of the days, we are creatures of habit and attention. And so if you want that attention, you have to give that attention to people. And I guess it's just nitpicking then that branding that you want, that community that you want, etc. Like for me, I'm not here to chase that clout, that
yeah,
crowd, that financial. For me, it's just seeing people successful. And what I've noticed is taking that group on a journey, taking your first X amount of viewers on that journey to become a community. Because if you can't create a community, then you're just streaming for the sake of streaming. Then at the end of the day, you don't have that community. And if you have that community vibe, I think that's how you kind of slowly grow. And right now in Australia, like we've only just broken into the streaming market when I think about it realistically, because I think this time last year we didn't really have much variety of streaming. Whereas now there's a lot of streamers trying to,
make
chase
it.
that
Yeah,
dream. Yeah, and there's a lot of them that have made it from a year ago when I've watched a few of them. So I think it's just about being consistent, having that community vibe, or at least making people feel included in your
yeah.
stream, and then from there it's expanding your base to other social platforms, etc.
That's very hard, and it's fun you say that because that's what I try to strive to do. But it's very hard for me because I can see the chat moving. I have the chat open, and I try to incorporate questions if they ask me direct questions or something like that. I try to include that in the conversation. But the whole thing is, I'm having a conversation with you. So I do read all the chat. It's just very hard for me to like stop the conversation, go, then answer.
Yeah,
But I completely agree with you. I think that it's very important to keep like send people on a journey. The brand masters in any industry is making sure that their customers or their audience is taken on a journey, whether that be click on their homepage and they get shown an amazing video or whatever. You have to follow that journey. and that's how you, like you said, you get the people become loyal and then eventually become ambassadors for that brand. Um, and that I think that's huge, especially for streamers. Um,
Yeah.
I think it's very hard though because I agree. I think that I'd prefer like 3 viewers that are active and then like know who I am than 100 people that like don't say anything. Not to say that I don't appreciate the people that are lurking because lurkers are important, but sometimes it's just people that um say for example you get 3 people, 5 people that are watching your Fortnite game just to stream snipe you. Um I don't know. It's this weird. It's a weird thing to have people do something out of spite, as opposed to just watching you and like trying to like engage with you. But like, I suppose they are engaging with you, but they're not engaging with you in a positive way. And especially, well, think about like when you think you have something positive happen. For example, thank you for the host. I appreciate that. Did I mean like
Yeah, I should have that earlier.
I broke off the interview. Not interview, the conversation.
I should have done that earlier. My bad.
That's okay. But yeah, I think it's hard because it really depends on the sort of thing you're trying to promote and the sort of conversation you're trying to do or whatever you're trying to have, because this is me racking your brain and like trying to figure out how you think, because I'm a very the whole thing is, I mean, I try to explain this, but a big thing for me is trying to kind of rack your brain and really try to think, see how you think, and maybe ask questions that typically you wouldn't have asked, had asked. Because if you know me, Reagan Burpee, as myself, and you were ever in any of my uni classes, school classes, you know I ask a lot of questions.
Yeah.
Um, so I've tried to filter that and make it be more professional. But in general, I am a very curious person. So that's why I think I love talking to people, but that's why I'm so like really focusing on this stream, is that I want to have a conversation, want to ask questions, because questions, I can't just walk up to you and go, "Hey, Sozo, what about this and that and that?" Like I wouldn't have asked those questions of you at AO. I mean, I would have had a conversation with you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like so, yeah. I got off topic, I got off track, but I've said
That's
what I
okay.
say.